4 years ago, I had the feeling to start a bullshit job. My name is Augustin Firino Martell. I come from a family of eau-de-vie traders, the Cognac. So I grew up in a region that lived around international trade of product coming from the ground. And I was educated on the importance of transmission, know-how, and with a sense of responsibility and respect for the earth and for the people. When I began my professional life, I was convinced that to be an actor of change toward a more responsible world, working for a multinational that have a strong influence all over the world, would allow me to have an impact and encourage people to act more responsibly. So I was aiming to be an agricultural commodity trader. But finally, my career started differently. I was on the phone with a friend. He told me that his company was recruiting. Okay, what is the job? He answered, consultant, blockchain, traceability. My first reaction was, consultant? That's kind of what I want to avoid, following the same classical path as all my classmates and becoming a yaka faucon, a consultant that only said, oh, you just have to do this, or you just have to do that. Traceability seems boring and about regulation. And blockchain? I've heard about Bitcoin, but what does cryptocurrency have to do with all this? What do you think? The perfect bullshit job, right? Out of courtesy, I went to meet with the team. People were great. They informed me about the job. And in fact, it was completely different from what I thought it would be. The position seemed aligned with my values and ambition and far from a useless job. So I decided to take up the challenge by joining the company. And now, after 4 years, I can say more. And in fact, it's quite fascinating. And now, I will detail you why blockchain traceability is a necessity, and I will change my vision for trust and for sustainable development. Traceability, what is it? Traceability was initially about tracking all along the value chain the transformation of raw material into finished product, and then presenting this information to the end consumer. For the wool, for example, you start with the farmer and the rearing of the sheep and the collection of the wool in the Pampa in Argentina. You then continue with the combing mills and the spinners in China or in Italy that will clean and spin the wool. You finish with the manufacturer in France that will produce beautiful high-end garments you will find in a Parisian shop. And in this shop, you have sometimes the possibility, as a consumer, to scan a QR code that will tell you all the story behind this garment. But traceability goes beyond this today. Because we now include to traceability all types of sustainable information: quality, durability, energy mix, water consumption. And this is what we call augmented traceability. So augmented traceability is collecting information on a product and its components to answer as many questions as, what is the origin of your product? What is the environmental impact on water or on biodiversity? Are people treated or paid correctly? And at the end, you have the whole story of a product, its production condition, and its impact. It is essential. Because to improve tomorrow, you have to measure today. And the measure is taken thanks to augmented traceability. Yet, it is a complex topic. If I stay in the fashion industry, I would say that less than 5% of the brands can tell you precisely where the raw material of the product you will wear come from. It's not that they do not want to know, but they cannot know just by asking, for business confidentiality purpose and lack of transparency about how a brand will use the data. Is it to bypass the supplier? Is it to lower the price? They cannot know. So to deploy traceability for sustainability, specific tools and organization need to be set up. And the impact you measure thanks to augmented traceability can lead to strategic business decisions. Should I work with this supplier as its working condition does not suit me, and its competitor seems to have perfect working condition? Should I stop using this material? Should I re-employ another? You need to make this strategic decision based on reliable and trustable information. And that's where blockchain comes in. For some of you, blockchain is cryptocurrency or NFT. For others, it's about energy consumption. But it is a lot more than that. And let me give you a real example. Once, I was presenting the principle of blockchain to a person in Mongolia. He was in the steppe, a Kashmir processor. At the end of my presentation, he smiled and told me, Augustin, I get it. It's an application for trust. I was personally very happy because he saw immediately the value. And here is what he understood. An information recorded in a blockchain is immutable, timestamped, and auditable. So when he will record an information in the blockchain straight from the step, he will commit to this information. And this commitment will give other actors, like his customer, trust and confidence in this shared information. But beware, blockchain is not relevant everywhere for everyone. If I look at the cognac, as I come from there, I know some producers, they are my friends. I see the vineyards when I cycle in the region. I see their production facilities when I'm invited for dinner. I personally don't need an extra layer of trust because I trust the people I know, I trust what I see, and in this case, I trust what I taste. But this is an exception because with globalization, we have sometimes or often lost trust because we have complex, international, fragmented value chain where the sustainable value of products is not visible. So it becomes a must-have to have this extra layer of trust thanks to blockchain. And when you work in this international and complex value chain, this is where consulting is key. A few years ago, I had an image of a consultant behind this desk who only do Excel and PowerPoint. You have the same image, right? In fact, it is far from what I live. 4 years ago, almost to the day, I had only been there for a few weeks, and I was sent on a mission to Italy for 3 months. I didn't know the industry. I didn't speak the language. I was completely lost in the beginning. But at the end, I learned a lot. Because in my case, to deploy blockchain solution for traceability and sustainability, I have to deep dive and understand in the business specificities of each of the partners of the supply chain. And each time I had the opportunity to do so, it was an incredible journey. Recently, I visited leather goods manufacturers. I met people with exceptional know-how, people who work with precision. Nice fact, it was 95% of women because they are usually more meticulous than men. I also visited a tannery with the owner who comes from a family of tanner from generation to generation. I saw with him the transformation process of rawhide to finished leather. So of kind of a disgusting product to one of the most valued products in the world. It's kind of magical. And all industries have their specificities. We've experienced it for sludge of water treatment plant, for beer or for caviar, for fast food patties or even for carbon credits. This job allows you to discover and understand the richness of many professions. And it is human and listening skills that are required, not so much technical skills. And it is when you understand how people work that you can provide the best possible solution in adapting them. And also it allows you, as consumers, not to go on the field to check the origin of each of your products. In a way, you are welcome. Overall, blockchain, consulting, traceability for sustainability are closely related and interconnected concepts. Traceability makes it possible to measure. Blockchain ensures that the measurement is reliable and trustable. And consulting helps to ensure that the measure will be taken. So it's not only for brand protection, compliance, or communication, and it's not only a matter of innovation. It completely rewired the way you do business, and it becomes a moral imperative to have this backbone of tomorrow's world, because it is about partnership and building more transparent and trustable ecosystem, and it's about collaboration and thinking your value chain globally. I am fascinated by one thing. All the people I work with want to do well. because it is part of a much broader role. Environment, ethics, and propose solutions to make progress. Because we all work toward a goal that is beyond the soul, which is sustainable development. And for me, it is useful. And I invite you to work toward this goal because there are many possible ways, and you can find yours. Thank you.